This is drug paraphernalia that's in this bag. This brown bag that's handed to people, homeless people, that are addicted to drugs, that have mental illness, hard-working people's money. People are putting these together with their hands to give to people that are already addicted. This is keeping people addicted and giving them a way to stay addicted. Would y'all all agree? That has to be over. That's done.
A brown paper bag full of drug paraphernalia paid for with your money handed to homeless addicts on a street corner. A man who ran a homeless nonprofit into a $7 million mansion and a vacation house in Greece. 1,000 fake marriages that ran for 10 years before anybody caught a thing. And 109 arrests across 2 states that almost nobody heard about until this video. America, the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority got nearly $1 billion over 5 years to fix a housing crisis. And guys, we already know the situation. In that same 5-year span, the number of homeless people in LA, it didn't go down, it tripled. And one of the guys collecting that money used it to buy a $125,000 Range Rover and fly private to a beach house in Greece. Stick around because the marriage scam running out of New York this week is the exact same trick. Somebody signs the form, nobody checks, the money keeps moving.
$1 billion went to the Los Angeles Homeless Authority. Funding increased by double over 5 years, and homelessness increased by 3 times. That doesn't seem like a good return on investment.
What is up, guys? Tyson, DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Scott Turner walked up to a podium in Los Angeles holding up a crinkled brown paper bag, and inside of it was a full kit for drug paraphernalia that the government paid somebody to hand out to homeless addicts. With your money, nearly $1 billion went to LASA over the last 5 years. The number of homeless people in that city tripled in that same freaking window.
LASA, using taxpayer money to what they were supposed to be doing is helping our homeless neighbors, our homeless men, women, and families, but yet instead there was corruption and fraud with the former CEO of LASA. They gave contracts to her husband's employer. They couldn't account for 2,300 spaces, housing spaces that they were supposed to be responsible for. They couldn't account. They didn't even know if they were paying for empty hotel rooms because they weren't tracking people as they left these motels that were supposed to be used for the homeless. And so as we came to LA, we say, you know what, enough is enough. The status quo is not good enough. President Trump, JD, Vice President Vance, our entire administration, you just saw the Attorney General and others say, man, enough is enough with the fraud.
So who counted the housing units? This agency. They swore that they were managing 2,200 of them. LASA couldn't even confirm it still existed.
LASA could not verify the existence of 2,300 housing units that it was responsible for. In August of 2023, LASA could not even determine whether they used funding to pay for empty hotel rooms because it failed to record when individuals exited motel housing.
Nobody has the answer. 3 years later, they were still paying for motel rooms and never wrote down when the people actually left them or if they were even vacant. Now, guys, check this out.
Okay, unfortunately, Mr. Sufer, he used taxpayer dollars for his own gain.
Alexander Suffer ran a nonprofit called Abundant Blessings. What a name, Abundant Blessings. That's how you con everybody. You name it nice and kind things. Abundant Blessings. The only thing abundant here in Alex's life was his lifestyle. $7 million house, a vacation home in Greece, flying private, $23 million fraud, all tied back to the money that was meant to help the people that are sleeping and crapping on the sidewalk. I'm going to give it to you straight here, guys, because a federal judge already struck down this part of a broader funding overhaul nationally twice this year, which means the fight obviously is not as clean as we would like it to be, or as the press conference is going to make it sound.
As numerous audits have shown, no evidence of abuse or graft has ever been presented. In addition, we have cooperated with the federal government on their provider fraud investigations. It is unfortunate that they continue to play politics with funds that keep more than 11,000 vulnerable people housed in our community.
When you cancel a gym membership, they want you to wet sign a letter. They need it notarized. Sometimes you need to mail it in by certified mail receipt. LASA had nearly $1 billion flowing out the door and couldn't tell you if somebody had checked out a motel room or not. Nobody was checking the exit. The bills kept getting paid whether the room was full or empty or not. That's it. That's the whole scheme. Nobody had to hide the money. Nobody was actually counting it in the first place. And this isn't one bad actor. This happens when the checks get written before anybody asks who's cashing the freaking checks. Funding here doubled since housing first became a rule in 2013. Obviously, homelessness didn't shrink to match it. It grew. This is the homeless industrial complex. Every dollar Alexander Suffer put towards that Greek vacation home, that Greece vacation home, is a dollar that didn't get put towards that person sitting on the sidewalk, for a person that didn't get a bed or food that day. LA County already pulled $300 million of its own money out of this agency. $300 million. The county that built LASA doesn't even trust LASA anymore. And that, my friends, tells you everything you need to know about the agency that the federal government is now cutting off. I got to tell you guys something. Follow the money that left the agency and ask yourself one single question. Anytime you see these NGOs and nonprofits and abundant blessing facilities trying to help people, who ended up richer at the end of the year? That's the question that you got to ask. Who ended up richer at the end of the year? Not the guy sleeping under the freeway, panhandling for baked beans. The guy with the Range Rover did. LASA's funding is frozen until further notice. Good. We got to watch to see if it actually gets permanently cut off or if it quietly gets restored once the cameras get shut off. LASA got away with it for years because nobody was checking the paperwork behind the money. That is the exact same blind spot that just cost this country a decade of fake marriages. But hold on to that just a little bit, you guys, because this ties in too perfectly to Skipped, because that's the trick right there. The bill keeps getting paid because nobody's actually checking it. Every month, I get that notification. Your auto insurance is going up $3. Next month, your auto insurance is going up $3. The quarter after that, your auto insurance is going up $3. Nobody fights over $3. That's the play here. A few years later, you're paying double and you never even question it once. That is why, my friends, I am proud to partner with today's video sponsor, Smarter Auto. It is absolutely free. It takes 2 minutes. All you need is, obviously, you need your car, your VIN number, your zip code. You get real quotes. They get placed side by side. You pick one and you go straight there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you are guaranteed to save money, but maybe, just maybe, you might be looking for a better deal, or maybe you're just fine. But you're probably not going to find anything better if you don't even look. Go ahead and check it out. You can scan the QR code. I'll probably place it right on your screen, or you can get the information down in the description down below. Now, let me show you what a decade of fake marriages actually costs. A decade-long green card assembly line just got shut down, and it ran on staged wedding photos taken at restaurants while couples meet each other for the first time that same day.
Today, we are announcing the arrests and unsealing of an indictment out of the Southern District of New York, charging 11 individuals for allegedly overseeing an extensive, decade-long marriage fraud scheme involving more than 1,000 sham marriages between Chinese nationals and United States citizens, and then the submission of fraudulent applications for green cards. This is one of the largest marriage fraud prosecutions in United States history.
You always got to follow the sequences here. A foreign national pays $100,000. A U.S. citizen gets $30,000 to marry an absolute total stranger. Then they open up a joint bank account, a joint phone plan, AT&T, T-Mobile, whatever it is, so it looks real on paper. They take these staged photos at restaurants in a traditional wedding attire, so everything looks legit. Then a prenup gets signed and says the exact opposite of the marriage.
The marriages even came with an unusual prenup, a clause stipulating that the husband and wife could live separate lives and have nothing to do with one another.
Sit with that for a second, you guys. Two people building a fake decade together on paper. We're talking about joint accounts, joint phone bills, staged anniversary photos at a restaurant, and a signed document that says they're not allowed to actually know each other. That's not a crime spreadsheet. That is a manufactured relationship built purely to survive one government interview, then quietly dissolve after that interview is complete. There is something genuinely strange and a little sad buried inside of all of that fraud.
As alleged, some of the charged defendants acted as facilitators who orchestrated the marriage fraud scheme, pairing foreign nationals seeking immigration status with United States citizens willing to participate and engage in a sham marriage. These facilitators employed attorneys, tax preparers, and marriage officiants.
A wedding at a restaurant or a wedding in general is supposed to mean something. This industry simply just figured out that you can rent the exact same restaurant, the exact same traditional outfits, the exact photographer, and none of it has to actually mean anything. Period. End of story. But we know this con. As long as somebody's standing there at the altar willing to sign a document, it's all gravy.
Now, often after these phony ceremonies, defendants would stage images of families at restaurants to create the appearance of a legitimate wedding. And some of the defendants also facilitated sham marriages overseas in China. After the marriages took place, the actual ceremony, the then married couples would visit a local office affiliated with the scheme, sign forms for submission to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, learn about the USCIS interview process to apply for a green card, and then execute prenuptial agreements, which, not surprisingly, given the allegation these were sham marriages, waived their rights to share in the other's estate upon death, child support, and other claims in marital property.
Every green card that came out of this operation went to somebody who cut the line ahead of people who were doing it honestly, who were taking the slow process, the expensive way, the grueling process. That's the real theft here, you guys. Not just dollars, a place in line that somebody was actually trying to earn. Somebody chose to marry a complete stranger for $30,000, sign a joint bank account, take a few fake photos, and sign a prenup admitting the whole thing was just hollow. Nobody forced that decision. They made it one signature at a time for 10 straight years. Getting caught in this scheme doesn't necessarily mean an automatic deportation. Revoking a green card built on fraud is a separate legal process from a criminal charge itself. And prosecutors said it flat out this week that some of these people may already be U.S. citizens. Two different fights here. Only one of them just happened. Same justice system the same week, moved from paperwork to boots on the ground. While New York was untangling fake marriage paperwork, Maryland and Delaware were putting real handcuffs on real people. Locked up, they won't let them out. They won't let them out. 109 arrests in 3 weeks isn't a headline. That's an episode or a full season of anything that you've ever binged on Netflix. Every single one of those episodes end with real handcuffs. Real handcuffs, okay? Not a cliffhanger. We're talking about attempted murder, armed robbery, illegal firearm possession, all 3 weeks in one single coordinated operation called Summer Heat 2.0. Just in time for fall. Officials confirmed something on camera that almost nobody caught. This is the second time this exact operation ran in the Baltimore area this year. The first one happened back in January with basically zero public announcement, no press conference, no headline, nothing. kept it under wraps. A number, you guys, ends the argument here. 109 plus people off the streets is 109 people and 109 fewer chances than the thing that's already happening 3 times a week in Chicago. And this time, nobody had to veto a curfew or clear an encampment to get it. Unglamorous work here of actually running down warrants that were already just sitting there. Not everything broken, fixed over these last couple of days needed a federal press conference to prove it.
Deputy Brobeck with the gloves.
The company Compliant Technologies is the maker of the electric shock gloves the federal government may soon purchase for ICE agents. A notice posted by Homeland Security shows an intent to buy $10 to $20 million worth of the distraction and de-escalation devices for ICE.
This is absolutely amazing. $10 to $20 million on gloves to drop El Hombre to the El Groundo in L3 seconds. Still cheaper than what's in the brown paper bag.
Certainly, if that was the law passed here, I would support that. I don't have a problem with voter ID.
She called voter ID a tool of suppression on one page and told her own state that she was fine with it the next, right after 6,600 non-citizens turned up registered under her watch.
Well, what looked like a box of old Nintendo games in Waukesha turned out to be a treasure for video game collectors. The owner of One Stop Wonders found he had nearly 100 copies of a rare version of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt inside a box sitting in storage. The shop owner says the person who sold it told him Nintendo sold the cartridges to a metal recovery service to be melted down for gold, but they never were.
These were printed about 2 years after the last known printing of these games. So no one really understands fully why Nintendo made a box of 100 of these. Back sticker on the cartridge is different. The screws are different. The manual is different. Even the motherboard for the game is different. So this is one of the most documented games in the history of video game preservation, and nobody has ever seen these specific carts before.
Until now. Well, some cartridges are in perfect condition and earned the world's first PSA 10 grade.
You guys remember this? 100 cartridges Nintendo shipped off to be melted down for scrap gold, sitting untouched in a Wisconsin storage unit the entire time. You guys remember the Duck Hunt and the Mario? Nobody caught that mistake for decades either.
As he's starting to rack a round into the firearm to engage our deputies, we shot him. We shot him a lot.
And Polk County, Sheriff Grady Judd in the house, stolen gun, a license plate reader, a sheriff. Grady Judd, who explained the whole shooting in 4 words, no press conference training needed. Body cam already tells the story.
We shot him. We shot him a lot.
From pilot program to paid passengers, today in Las Vegas, after years of free ride testing, Amazon's autonomous vehicle unit Zoox is officially charging customers for rides for the first time ever.
3 years of free robo rides in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today, Amazon started finally charging for it. At least that one's an honest bill. America, one federal government spent this week chasing a mansion in Beverly Hills, a wedding photo taken at a restaurant, 109 warrants sitting in a filing cabinet in Maryland. Different agencies, same week, same broken habit finally getting fixed. Somebody signs a form, somebody else decides. 4 years. Absolutely not to check it. Lhasa didn't even check who was leaving the motel room. New York didn't even check whether the marriages were real or not. Baltimore ran an entire fugitive sweep back in January and told nobody, which means the check-in was happening quietly long before this week's press conference made it to the headlines. Funny how one operation that actually worked is the one that nobody bothered to announce. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.